Today we're talking about Barrel King, batch number 80. This is their Chocolate Cherry Stag Boo Rye. So this one starts with a barrel of their Chocolate Filthy Cherry Finished Bourbon, followed by a barrel of their Stag Finished Bourbon. Then we have a barrel of their Port Cherry Plum Cider Finished Rye, followed by a barrel of their Heirloom Champagne-style Apple Cider Finished Bourbon, and then finally ending with 2 barrels of 8-year MGP Bourbon. That is a lot to remember. That is a very unique blend. Definitely excited to get in this one, guys. Without further ado, go. All right, guys, as I stated, this is their batch 80 coming in at 114.4 proof. Really cool looking label on the back of this one. Again, this is their Chocolate Cherry Stag Boo Rye. Let's get into the nose. There's a lot going on the nose on this one. There's a lot of complexity showing up further into the glass. You are getting some of those darker fruits. You are getting some like some raspberry and some kind of like black cherry further in. Further away, there is this... I think there's a little bit of that apple cider-ness that starts to kind of play around with the nose further away. It's very inviting. It's very kind of fruit-forward. But as you go further into the glass, you're really starting to pick out some of those deeper, darker, richer notes. It has a very like dense and deep some aromas to it, some brown sugar in there as well. The nose is absolutely beautiful, guys. Let's get into the palate. Cheers. The mouthfeel and oiliness on this is just absolutely top-notch. Front of the palate does come off very sweet. You do get a little hint of that chocolate. You do get a little bit of that raspberry up there up front. Middle of the palate is really kind of where that some of that oiliness and like chocolatiness kind of like fades away, but that brings forth that Boo Rye, which is really nice. It's offering some of that spiciness from that rye, and then also some of those kind of sweeter kind of bourbon notes, more on the like traditional side, where you're going to get some of your caramels, your vanillas. That brown sugar definitely makes an appearance there that I was getting on those. Back of the palate is really where that chocolate, it's a very dark cherry that you get. They're just married together, all spice kind of kicking in, that rye spice kind of flowing back and kind of mixing into the palate on the back there. Beautiful finish of this one. Again, the oiliness and the mouthfeel just absolutely dominating the palate. Let's get in the second sip. Yeah, so the oiliness from this is just like really kind of covering the tongue. It's like it's leaving this like coating on the tongue there, but again, front of the palate still offering that kind of red fruit, like that raspberry, slight little bit of some milk chocolate. And then as it gets to the center, again, you're still, it's starting to, that Boo Rye is really starting to make its appearance more and more, especially on the second sip. Still offering like a little bit of citrus there, like a slight little hint of orange. And I'm picking up on the sides, but that spiciness from that rye is what I'm really liking about this. It's not super sweet. The spiciness from that rye kind of offsets the sweetness that you're getting from this one. It is a very sweet whiskey, but again, that rye portion of this is perfect because it does offset again that balance of that sweet and then spiciness. That is a remarkable batch of Barrel King. I'll tell you that right now. Fantastic. Let's get the last sip. Cheers, guys. Last sip changed a little bit. So front of the palate, it was kind of a brighter red fruit. It's turned more into like a plum and date on the front. So it's not as sweet, but it turned more to like a dark fruit sweetness. I love dark fruit on a whiskey. Center of the palate still opening up to those rye spices, those traditional bourbon notes, the vanillas, the caramels, brown sugar still kind of sitting there across the palate. And that's when that Boo Rye just kind of opens up and it's just like, hey, I'm here. Spiciness following through into the finish. Again, that dark chocolate finish has kind of stayed the same. That dark chocolate, dark kind of cherry. Maybe a little bit of that darker fruit starting to kind of make that transition into the back. But a beautiful finish on this one. It's a medium to long finish, almost along that long finish. Fantastic release here by Barrel King. I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Guys, Barrel King did not send me this bottle. I purchased this bottle on my own, but I wanted to go out and review it and get that name out there. Some of the things that Barrel King is doing, they're doing some amazing stuff in the industry. They just hired Matt Porter, ADHD Whiskey, as their chief blending officer and master taster. So everybody knows Matt, how great his palate is. That is just an amazing addition to that team, but they've been putting out some absolutely amazing stuff prior to that, and going forward, I'm sure it's going to be even better at this point. It is an absolutely amazing blend. I'm very glad that I purchased this bottle and was able to review it for you guys. If you're looking for more reviews like this, hit that subscribe button and bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Till next time, guys, stay dusty.